Miles Kitselman with a torn pectoral muscle. How big is this? I think it's very significant because he's not going to be able to participate. And I keep harping on this, how you can get so much done in the summer if you're a skilled position player. So I think it's very significant. I'll go ahead and say bank on it, brought to you by Commercial Bank. This will slow his development at the University of Tennessee as he goes into what should be his contract year, what should be his big year in terms of being productive for Tennessee. So I think this is a big blow for the Vols. Now, I think he'll be back. A torn pectoral muscle, he'll be fine. I don't know how serious it is, but he'll be fine by preseason camp. But Caleb, I think it's a big factor. Bank on it, brought to you by Commercial Bank. I'll get Caleb's take after 30 seconds from Commercial Bank, member FDIC, life made better.
Commercial Bank is your neighborhood bank. What makes us different from other banks? We understand that every customer has unique opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. We don't expect you to fit into the same box as the next person or business. Whether it's purchasing a home, saving for your child's future, or planning for your next vacation, we're with you every step of the way to navigate life's big decisions. Commercial Bank. Life.
All right, Caleb. So do you think this is a significant blow for the Vols?
I do, because Miles Kitselman had turned into their best tight end last year. And for those who don't remember, Miles Kitselman and Holden Stays both transferred to Tennessee last year. And there was kind of an open competition over who would become the primary tight end. And Miles Kitselman ended up winning out, which is why Holden Stays entered the transfer portal. And I don't think anybody really felt bad about Holden Stays entering the transfer portal. Everybody wishes him the best.
I'll take it a step further. Kitselman is Tennessee's best receiver returning from last year's team.
That is wild. Okay, I can give you that. I can actually give you that. I mean, he was really picking it up late too, running the right routes. They really settled on him. So this is a big deal. This year, though, and here's the, I think they were trying to do a twofold with tight end this year, weren't they? They were trying to do the Princeton Fant Jacob Warren thing, weren't they? Where they alternate each drive, and Ethan Davis would be the athlete tight end that gets the big special plays, but Miles Kitselman makes the catches in open space as the mismatch and as the goal line tight end.
Yeah, I think as it turns out, though, Kitselman can do a little bit of everything. So I don't think they're as pegged as they were with Warren and
Fant.
Sorry.
But I'll say this, in terms of raw potential as a tight end, can we not agree that Ethan Davis has the most of anybody at Tennessee since maybe Jason Witten?
Well, I think he has the most potential at Tennessee. I think he has the most potential to be an elite player on Tennessee's team at his particular position.
So one of the reasons maybe Tennessee shouldn't be as worried about this is maybe this is now the time for Josh Heupel to spread the field and make Ethan Davis a superstar. And this could be the moment. Look, sometimes
that doesn't depend on Josh Heupel. That depends on Ethan Davis. He was not ready to take that jump last year, and I thought he would be able to. At some point, you have to go from a talented player who has all the potential in the world to a player who is living up to that potential. And so far, I've heard all the things about Ethan Davis in spring practice, and that sounds great. But at the end of the day, he's got to do so in the fall. So while what you're saying is how you would hope things are playing out, I certainly don't know that that's the case.
So my question to you, Dave, is, aren't there moments where you've seen guys take like maybe plays off or not be as focused in spring practice, but then they become the guy because they have to, and all of a sudden they are fully focused and fully all in on doing what they need to do?
Yeah, but not any more than I've seen them get totally washed over by the expectations and the increased responsibility. So, I mean, it could go either way.
Oh, it could. It could. I don't know what, I mean, you tell me. So you covered the 98 team, I know. Let's just ask about Travis Henry. Was Travis Henry prepared to step into the role when Jamal Lewis went down, or did he think he was just going to be a backup that year? What did you guys see that in practice that he was going to be that good?
I didn't know he was going to be as good as he was. I mean, he was like a 7-time Pro Bowl player in the NFL, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, but I'm talking about before Jamal Lewis went down in that 98 year. Did y'all see signs of Travis Henry in practice?
If Jamal Lewis was an A+ running back at the college level, is that fair?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody thought that Travis Henry was an A-. And he might even be a flat A. But he wasn't as talented as Jamal Lewis. I still like his running style more than Jamal Lewis because I thought he dogged it for a good.
But did you see the signs of Travis Henry being that good in practice before he had to step in for Jamal Lewis? Or was he taking plays off because he knew he wasn't the starter?
I don't think he was taking plays off. I think Travis was the type of guy that, was like a dog. You say sick it, and he sicked it.
Okay.
That's what he did.
So he did that in practice too?
Yeah, I thought he was a good practice player. No, I mean, but I mean, they were all good practice players back then because if you weren't a good practice player, you didn't get on the team. I mean, you didn't get on the field, excuse me.
So we're going okay. So we're gonna. I'm just wondering where this line goes because, like Ethan Davis, like to me, all of this Kitselman injury is as bad as Ethan Davis allows it to be.
Okay.
I think this is an opportunity for Ethan Davis to become an All-American.
Well, and they're still going to have Kitselman back by week 1. I believe that firmly. I don't believe that with Jamad McCoy at cornerback with the ACL, but I do believe, based off what I've been told, this is a pectoral injury. This is something that you can easily get to heal, or you can anchor it down, which sounds just awful. It makes me never want to do bench press again. But you can anchor it down if you want and have it fixed. So it's a very repairable injury. Very repairable. So I wouldn't be concerned about week 1 with him. McCoy, I would. Ashley says, not going to lie, this is the least excited I've been for football in a while. I don't know why, Ashley, because I will tell you the overriding factor in this football team is that Nico Iamaleava is in year 2. We've seen every single player excel at the highest level, especially at the skill positions. We've seen every single one of them have their best year under Josh Heupel in your dose. It's like Dos Equis, go for dose.
Yeah, I think I've noticed that vibe from Vol fans a lot recently during this all season. I think that's going to change soon, but it has kind of been noticeable that look, I get it. Tennessee didn't meet my expectations last year. There were a lot of things that went wrong last year that we could talk about, and they still guys went to the college football playoff, and their loss, yes, they lost in a blowout in the college football playoff. I think the way it feels doesn't match with the actual data of what happened. Does that make sense, Dave?
Yeah.
Because it feels like you lost the college football playoff game that you didn't belong in, but you lost on the road to a team that blew out everybody to go win the national championship.
Yep. And I will agree with Sam on this. He says if he's back by week 1, then it's not an issue at all. I think Kitselman is very mature, made a business decision to come to Tennessee, made a business decision to stay another year. I think you absolutely are dead on, Sam. And I think he's going to be watching a ton of tape when he's not out there in summer workouts. I think he will be good to go. Probably, I would imagine, enter summer workouts somewhere in the middle and participate in some of that. But from a mental standpoint and from a physical standpoint, I feel really good about him being ready in week 1. So I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world. If it goes on, it's a big deal because not only is he Tennessee's best tight end, but like I said earlier, he's Tennessee's best receiver.
Yeah, but is it possible that with him out, Ethan Davis balls out and then just never loses the starting tight end spot?
Well, there's not really a starting tight end spot.
There's not a lot of starting spots in this depth chart, to be fair, except for receiver.
No, I mean, they're all going to be playing at tight end in particular. They want to play 2. So I don't think there's a starter and a second stringer. I don't think that's applicable at tight end because they want to play a guy for a drive. I mean, theoretically, they want it to run just like 2022, where Fant was in for the entire drive, and then you had the next the next drive, Warren was in for the entire drive. That way they can run tempo. Those bigger guys, and I think Jacob Warren would attest to that, it's a little bit more difficult to run tempo for a full 60 minutes as a bigger guy that has to block as well, which is why they like to sub in there. Hemp House, the premier hemp dispensary online with a wide variety and great selection and strict standards. Use the promo code HOOK. That's HOOK for 10% off. Hemp House Chat with 2Ts.com. Hemp House Chat with 2Ts.com. At the end of the day, if Miles Kitselman isn't Tennessee's most productive tight end, then Tennessee has a problem. I don't think Ethan Davis is ready to take a quantum leap. Does that answer your question from my perspective?
Yeah, no, okay. So you think it's still Miles Kitselman's job no matter what, and then Ethan Davis is going to get involved, but like it's still Miles Kitselman's job. I just think that like there should be an opportunity for Ethan Davis to really supplant himself because of just how talented he is. I never thought they should do the whole like the Fant and Warren thing, Dave. I thought they handled that wrongly because I felt I would have had Princeton Fant be in the offense all the way up until about the 25-yard line and then put Jacob Warren in because he's such a big target that you can't guard him on the goal line or in the red zone.
Yeah, but I don't think you plan for the tight ends, which tight end you're going to have in the red zone because you don't sub during drives. unless you've got Lane Kiffin.
That's true. You don't sub. That's true.
I mean, unless you got Lane Kiffin on the sideline, having one of his players fake an injury, and then you can run. You would have always wanted Fan on the goal line, right?
Right. Exactly. That's true because you want to run the ball. So yeah,
that wasn't always doable. So
you mean Warren?
What?
On the goal line. Sorry, I meant Warren. I thought you always would have wanted Warren on the goal line.
No, I think you wanted Fant because of what he was able to do.
Oh, because of the handoffs in the under center and the
I think he was the more athletic guy that made it easier on Tennessee. Now I will say this for a second. I'll give Miles Kitselman the ultimate compliment, and that is I hope he's a Dallas Cowboy one day, because I think not only does he have the maturity, I think he's got every bit the physical ability. We talk about how talented Ethan Davis is. If Ethan Davis is physically an A+, then Miles Kitselman is at worst an A-. He is an incredibly talented physical specimen. So I think it's too easy just to earmark them as one super talented, one's just a hard worker and physical. I think that's oversimplification. I like Kitselman a lot. He might be the best player at his position on this team. So you do not want to lose him for an extended period of time. The other question is, who's your second tight end if Kitselman were to be out? You'd have Davis and who? I mean, that's where it gets really complicated, and you can't go out and get one in this spring portal.
Deshaun Brame, the freshman.
They should have held on to Stays.
Well, yeah, but they couldn't shell out the money. Stays really wanted to go start somewhere. I can't blame anybody for that. That was just how it worked.
I would have found the money.
Well, they got two tight end. They got two commitments as freshmen, though. So I think they're like, you know what? For if Kitselman doesn't come back, we'll just turn to one of them. I think that's their thought process on that. It was worth trying to. It was worth moving one of the
freshman tight end in Josh Heupel's system
as a backup tight end. It was worth one of the backup. Because now if you just have one tight end, Dave, you can go. What we talked about, you can go. I think Heupel's hoping he doesn't have to go 12 personnel that much this year, so you can run Ethan Davis one drive and then go 4 wide on the other drive.